It's Street Fighter time! Hello and welcome to another figure review. Today we're gonna have a look at the SH Figuarts Street Fighter 5 Blanka number 9. It says Street Fighter 5, but this is obviously not the SF5 design. This is the classic one, which is also in the game as a classic costume, to be fair, but they really just have the Street Fighter 5 banner for this entire line, and it doesn't matter. I obviously love the classic costume a lot more, even though new Blanka, he's kind of savage with all the longer hair. But regardless of that, we're gonna have a look at this design right now. So this one is kind of personal, because Blanka was my favorite Street Fighter character when I was a kid. I loved the color scheme and the monster thing, but also to play him, because he was the only one I could do a special move back in the day, because you do the zappy move by just spamming the punch button, right? We didn't know how to throw a fireball. It was back in the day. There was no internet. I'm old, so alright. Anyway, size of the figure, let me get him in a straight pose. You will usually not have him in a straight pose unless you're doing like his victory. Arr, arr. Okay, that was very bad. I'm gonna stop that right now. But anyway, size of your Blanka stands at about 17.5 centimeters really to the top of his hair. 6.9, 6.8, 6.8, 6.9. Overall, once again, to the top of the hair. But he's definitely big, but he's usually hunched over, so that's a little bit deceptive. But it seems accurate. So I love the face sculpt. It is very nicely done. You got the big nose and very detailed teeth, also ugly teeth. There's a lot of dirt in it and whatnot. And his entire skin is textured in this kind of like reptilian looking style. So that's really cool. What I don't like about the face are the eyes. I mean, I've said it time and time again for the Figuarts Street Fighter 5 line. They all have those anime faces. And with Blanka, it just kind of sticks out weirdly, because the face looks fairly realistic, and then you have these just really white and the thick black line and just the blue. It's just, I don't know, to me it just kind of stands out weirdly. Then for the hair sculpt, it is very frizzy, has a lot going on. And is it just me, or could it be a little bit longer? Once again, those are the small nitpicking parts. I have more legit complaints when it comes to this figure, unfortunately. But yeah, nicely molded. Have some problems with the color on the side, but quality control, I'm kind of used to it by now. Just getting quality control all over the place. But yeah, overall, the design of the muscle work. Now, very important, since there's not really that much more going on for this character than muscles and hair and shorts, I had a very specific look. And once again, you might get that under the nitpicking thing, but especially his shoulders. There's like a lot of stuff going on in different variations of the character. I have like a picture of the Street Fighter 5 model, and I feel like they made it a little bit too simple in some parts. In other parts though, like the biceps, there is really a lot going on. So I'm not completely faulting them for that, just something to note. And the orange hair in the arms. And his claws, nicely painted fingernails going on. And even has some detail inside of the hands. So I mean, overall the muscle work is good, but it could be more accurate. Like, you know, this is like standard stuff. It's bigger. I'm not saying they recycled the mold, but still, that extra effort, because they didn't do that extra effort. Same goes for the chest area. It looks kind of weird. I feel like the chest looks a little bit too small. And once again, I know what they were going for, because he's usually hunched over and has his arms forward, so the chest muscles are squished. Once again, like in the picture. But they kind of just messed that up. It should be more like, it should go more a little bit in an angle, a little bit in a curve. Then again, if you pose him upright, if he's not kind of like hunched over and whatnot, it would look more like that. So, I'm a little bit on the fence with that. But let's finish up the look. The muscle work. Let me give you another spin. Everything that's going on, very nicely done. And then the pants, I love the transition from the white into the brown, and the same thing going on over here and down to the feet with his kind of shackles, which are super floaty and metallic, and has some, it looked like in the pictures it looked like it had some damage on it, but I'm not really seeing any intentional, it doesn't look like intentional damage. It looks like Yeah, stuff like that doesn't look like they made that intentionally. So yeah, overall, finally, one more thing about the overall figure. There's not really any paint or shading going on in the skin tone, so it looks a little bit weird. I'm already a bit over it, but when I took them out of the packaging, I was like, damn, this is a lot of green plastic, and it looks kind of plain in that regard. Whew, okay, that was a lot of time spent on the design, so I want to get over the articulation a little bit quicker. They did something really weird with the hat. I want to get over it quicker, but they do some weird stuff. Okay, so the back hair is on a ball joint with a little bit of a pack in it, but it's stuck in there, so you can't really rotate it around in there. But I actually want to look at the hat. You have a ball joint, which is on a long pack, which goes into the neck, which is just weird, dude. It's just weird. The hair is soft plastic, and let me actually get the hair back on so I can properly display the range of it. So this has some wiggle motion, doesn't really go up or down. Now the head itself goes forward, back. Really only has some wiggle motion. I have to hold on to the neck, but it does go back nicely. It does go forward, not really that much, and it does kind of wiggle around in the neck because of the pack, and it does tilt side to side. So really hard to show you all of that, and it doesn't go around because of the nature of how it's connected. Like you can't rotate it. You can rotate it around like that, but obviously that's just weird. So all this articulation is just weird. So the neck articulation, that's kind of making up for it. You can bring that forward a lot. You can bring it to the back, and then this goes off. Well, let me just, okay, forward, back, side to side, a little bit, and that even doesn't go all the way around. So you can spin his head around. Then for the shoulder articulation, same thing. It's weird. You have the ball hinge in under there. Then you don't have a hinge in the shoulder like with regular figures, but this is the fighting body. They've done that before. The thing with this is it doesn't really have the best range of it. It goes up nice enough. I'm not knocking it too much, but you can't bring it around if it's like that. You have to put it down, and then it goes all the way around. So it's kind of limiting depending on what pose you're going for. Then we have butterfly joint that goes nicely forward. Very well molded. We don't have anything breaking up there. So I dig that. We have no bicep swivel or whatnot. And once again, to kind of make up for that, you have this weird one hinge in the elbow and also a swivel, which once again doesn't really go all the way around. So what's the point? Also, you have kind of to cover up the elbow, but yeah, it doesn't really go far enough. So it doesn't cover it up. It doesn't do a very good job at that. Simple ball hinge in the hand, which it is kind of blocked. There you go. Get it in the right position. Up, down, all the way around. Chest articulation goes forward a lot. That's very important for your hunched over pose. Doesn't really go, well, it does go to the back actually. It kind of straightens them out. And you hear that noise, so I'm not going to force it much more. I don't think it's going all the way around. It doesn't tilt side to side. Now for the lower torso, also doesn't go all the way around. It's completely blocked. I don't even know. Back and forth motion, some wiggle motion, and then to the back and side to side, and I can't, it's just stop. It just says stop. So I'm not gonna push forward. Then we get to the pants, which look ugly, and once again, it's just like, you have these packs just kind of sticking out, and there is no articulation in that part, so this one just doesn't look good. Also, this is kind of loose, but yeah, you have this swivel, kind of thigh swivel, goes forward, doesn't really go to the back because of the butt, and goes out to the side. And what the hell is even going on in there? Well, then we got the knee pads. Those look good for the most part. I like that they molded them. It still looks wonky, but it always would look wonky. So double hinged, those are at least double hinged. And then the foot is on a ball hinge, which is nicely covered up by this shackle thingy. Goes forward, goes to the back, does tilt side to side, and has a toe hinge. So for your accessories, they really came up with some interesting stuff, but the standard stuff has been reduced highly. We got one different face, the yelling face with the open mouth, still nice in detail with the teeth and everything. but the eyes once again. Also, it looks like can you push them out? I don't know. It doesn't say anything in the instructions, and this face is clearly molded a little bit differently than the other face, so I don't know. Doesn't make any sense. And we got fist hands, one set of fist hands, and that's already it for the regular stuff. Now, as you can tell in the background, you got the Rio de Janeiro background from Street Fighter V. Every character had that, but the really special stuff is these skeleton pictures of Ryu and Chun-Li as they're getting zapped. But the one thing is, like, it looks way too big. Anyway, you have a little bit of a clamp to put that in, and then you have that in the background. You can either have Chun-Li or Ryu. Nobody else, but those are like the main two, so I'm okay with that. And it's nicely done. It looks cool, the effects and whatnot. So kudos to that. So that's gonna do it. That's gonna bring me to the final thoughts of this Blanka review. Blanka? Why did I say Blanka? It's a Blanka. Anyway, so this one's kind of tricky. Overall, I think the figure still looks good overall, but there's some small imperfections. There's some small things that could have been done better. Like, I think especially paint job and shading, that could have been done a lot more to make them look better. Now, that being said though, this one is Tamashii Nation's web store exclusive. As such, he's a lot more expensive if you want to get him anywhere outside of Japan. I think he's even more expensive in Japan because exclusivity and whatnot. So overall, this guy currently costs around 75, 80 bucks, which I think is too much. Honestly, my recommendation is wait for him to wait to 50. Like, I would say 50 bucks, I'm cool with it, but as such, as he is right now, at the price point, I think there's just a lot of things going on that I think could have been done better. He's really light on accessories. He has some cool, really like that stuff, but there's no really hands or faces, like a smiling face or whatnot, or a little bit more of posing hands. He really just has these open hands and these fist hands, and that's it. So that's kind of lame. Yeah, but overall, I still think the figure is good. But just right now, it's a little bit too pricey overall. So I'd say wait, unless you really, really want a Blanka. I think this one is still pretty decent. Again, could be better. Potential versus what we actually got. So there we go. That's gonna do it. Recommended partially, but not at this price right now. So that's gonna do it. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this review, hit it up with a like and subscribe to the channel so you can stay tuned for more figure-based gameplay stuff and whatever Blanka wants.